Hello, everyone. Hi. Can you tell I'm in a good mood? What you missed is I have this little clicker thingy. If you've been watching the last couple floss tubes, I click it to start it and click it to stop. Well, I was just so excited. I saw this in my hand and I clicked it and it stopped. But anyways, I'm here. Hello. My name's Noah. This is my Flosstube channel. This is Flosstube number 17. And I cross stitch. Oh, my eyebrows are wonky. They're all wonky today. Anyways, hello. How is everyone? Look. Do you like my shirt? It's a nice little button up. It's kind of like a grunge. Is it grunge? I don't know what grunge is. I'm in such a weird mood right now. Like, I feel really energetic and I'm really excited, but I also don't really have... Is that a fire? I hope that fire is purposeful. There's a fire in this person's backyard. I hope it's purposeful. A side note, we've had a lot of fires around here lately. I don't know what's going on. Oh, and that's a salt lamp. That's not a fire. But, I just, we've had 2 restaurants burn down in the last, month. What is going on around here? I live in Tennessee. Not that that's, a reason that restaurants burn down or anything. See what I mean? I'm in such a weird mood. Anyways, hello. This is Flosstube. If you're new here, my name's Noah. I have a cat named Erickson. He was just here. Now he's left. He's really the star of the show. So I have a cat named Erickson, and I show cross stitch, quilting, sewing, diamond painting, knitting, crochet. But really, the only thing I've been really working on lately is cross stitch. I finished a crochet blanket later last year, and since then I haven't really picked up any other crafts than cross stitch. I really haven't had time. Now, that's the funny part. I have had time because I'm under quarantine again. So I'm under quarantine for the next week. If you're new here, I am a student teacher. So with that, I work with a mentor teacher in a classroom to work towards my clinical teaching hours. I graduate in May, the first week of May, and I'll apply for my license and all that other fun jazz later after I graduate, because you have to wait till you graduate to apply for your teaching license. But anyways, I'm in the classroom. I'm teaching all day long, 5 days a week, doing all the back work behind it, or the behind the scenes work as well. And we had a couple of situations with, the panorama that everyone's been suffering with. And a couple of students, the things. So I'm under quarantine again. I feel like my mom and I were talking about this too. It's kind of like the joke amongst teachers, because she's a teacher as well. It's kind of the joke amongst teachers of how many times were you not the quarantine, before things settle down. But I'm all good. Don't worry about me. I was a little tore up the other day. And so I made a post on my Instagram stories. I was just today was tough, and I wanted just send out good energy, good vibes, and just the outpouring of love on that video or on that story was really, really sweet. So I just want to say thank you to everyone that contacted me and have reached out and said, hey, hope you're doing all right. It really meant a lot. It just tickled. It just tickled my heart. It was hey, sorry, I hear Erickson. I really feel bad for the people that are new here and they're what in the world is going on? Because I'm just jabbering today. But I don't have a lot of cross stitch to show. I mean, I have a lot of cross stitch to show, but I don't have, say that 3 times fast, but I don't have a lot of projects to show. Does that make sense? So my last floss tube was March 8th, and that was my week of spring break. So I was hoping to get a lot of stitching done, which I did. But then we came back the following week, and about midweek is when all that stuff happened. So then I've been sitting in my house for the past couple of days, And so I've gotten a lot of stitching done in those past few days, which is a good part. I hope you don't hear that truck outside. He's like backing up or something. But I finished one project and I have 2 whips. That's it. So that's kind of a game plan for this Flosstube. This is Flosstube 17. My name's Noah. I already said that, but my name's Noah. There have been a lot of people that have recently subscribed, like a lot. Like I'm almost at 3,000, which is, that's like 30% of my university. That's terrifying. Because that's a lot of people. But I want to say, I'm just having like an existential like crisis moment right now. I just want to say thank you to everyone that has subscribed. And if you haven't and you're still watching, you should subscribe. God, I'm worse than most YouTubers, aren't I? But no, I mean, it's totally your call. I just want to say thank you to all the people that have recently subscribed, because I looked at it like right before I got onto here and I'm almost at 3,000 and I'm like, wasn't I just at 2,700 or something like that? Like that, where'd those people come from? But rambling once again. My name's Noah. How many times am I going to say that? And this is my channel, Noah Stitches. On Instagram, I'm Noah.stitches, or a period in between Noah and Stitches. No, not Noah and Stitches, Noah.stitches. And it'll be linked in the comments as well, or in the description box. Whoever I mention, I'm just gonna go ahead and say this, whoever I mention will also be linked down in the description box, so you can find their channels, or you can find those shops or whatnot. And yeah, I think that's all the stuff I want to like say before we get into the stitching. But here we are, 7 minutes in, and let's do it. Okay, so not my first finish of the year. I've had many, I haven't had like many finishes this year. There's one girl on Instagram, I follow her. She is like knocking that shit out. But I have a finish since my last Flosstube. Again, my last Flosstube was March 8th. I had these little project trackers. These are from S Ward Designs on Etsy. I'll have her linked in the description box like I always do. I love these little project trackers because obviously I'm scatterbrained, so it's really hard for me to remember what days I worked on it. It's just nice to have something to keep me organized, especially for these Flosstubes, believe it or not. There was a time before these project trackers where I was like, I worked on this project a little bit. Actually, fun fact, before I started my Flosstube, I thought I had to show sorry, I'm getting the project on the board right now. Before I started my Flosstube, I thought I had to show every whip that I like had, every video. So if you go back to my first like 3 or 4 Flosstubes, I would show projects and be like, I haven't worked on this, but here it is. And I think that's what helped with it being like an hour and a half. Because my videos used to be like really long. I mean, they're still kind of long. I think last week's video was only like 40, 50 minutes. This one will probably be shorter too. But I just don't have as many whips. But anyways, I digress. Do you hear him? In there causing a ruckus. He was asleep before I started this. That's the thing. He knows when I start this shit. He's like, oh, Dad's on Flosstube. He doesn't edit. Let me go destroy as many things as I can in the next hour that I can. Because he won't get up and come get me. That's what he thinks. That's what Erickson thinks. That's my cat. But anyways, back to this. Oh, he's using the litter box. I hope you can't hear that. I mean, a cat's gotta go when a cat's gotta go. I mean, who am I to tell? Oh, fun fact, I do have his neutered scheduled for Good Friday. I said, what a better day. I said, just chop him. Just get him, just get rid of his thing. Which actually they're gonna keep him overnight. So I'm like, oh yeah, it's gonna be a Good Friday. I could sleep all nice in my bed without him trampling all over my face. And you know, Good Friday is April 2nd for anyone that doesn't know. Anyways, I stitched on this March 11th, 18th, and 19th. What, you want to come up here now? So this is Evening in the Shire. I was like fall into the camera. This is Evening in the Shire by Cute Patterns by Maria on Etsy. She's also known as just her name, Maria Broco. Yeah. He's got the zoomies. He's got the zoomies. I did this on 32 count even weave. It is hand dyed. I used the DMC called for. I didn't really feel like there needed to be substitutions because there's not really a lot of room for variegation and all that jazz. I started September 16th, which is oddly enough my dad's birthday of last year, and I finished March 19th of 2021. I spent 9 days working on this total with my project tracker, but 4 of those days were spent or were kind of wasted because the first 2 days I stitched, and then the other 2 days after that I frogged everything that I stitched. So really I got this project done in 5 days. This is what it looks like. I always like to do these little, what's it called? Like screen grabs for my, my like cover photo. I don't like when I smile for them though, and sometimes that's like the only options that I have. But anyways, this is her. This is it. So you can tell that there's a ton of backstitch on this. The stitching is really, I like the way that it is stitched because even for instance, I didn't iron this. You know I didn't iron it. I didn't even shave either. I'm in quarantine. Why? So, okay, let me do it from the top down because that will make more sense. So like, see here? Oh no, the zoomies have started. You see here where there's like just a little bit of stitches right there. It kind of adds depth to that step, right? Whenever you look at it from afar. Now, there's 2 secret images hidden in this pattern. And I only found the bunny rabbit. I didn't know that there was a bird until someone on Instagram let me know that there was a bird. And I'm gonna show you those now, okay? So, you see little bunny rabbit right here? Look how cute that little bunny rabbit is. What are they doing? They're just hiding in the bushes. Someone also mentioned that Lady and Mariana lived in this little home, and I was like, yeah, she lives everywhere. Like, I feel like she lives in my Victorian house as well, that I'm gonna show in a little bit. So there's this little bunny right here. Love that little bunny. And look at the little bird. Now, while stitching this, I only saw the bunny. I didn't see the bird. I just thought it was a wonky looking tree. Because you know how like it looks like leaves and stuff? Now, there is a lot of backstitch on this. Like, do not be fooled. This is a lot of backstitch. But at the same time, that's kind of what brings it to life. I love the lanterns. The lanterns are just like, yes. And someone asked me as well, they were like, how do you do, let's talk about this little piece real quick. They were like, how do you do your backstitching? Do you do it as you go, as you stitch, and all that jazz? Since there's not a ton of actual stitching in this, I say that there's like thousands of stitches in this. I think it's like just over like 2,000, 3,000. And so I did all the stitches first because the backstitch was so complicated that I didn't want to mess up the backstitch. And good thing I did, because I actually messed up the stitching. Because there's tent stitch, which means you just do the first leg. And I didn't notice it until I started the backstitch, so I messed up the stitching, which is why I had to frog. Now, there are 1, 2, and 3 strands of backstitching done on this piece. And I know people, like I heard Michelle Bendy say it in one of her Flosstubes once. She was like, if you have 2 or 3 strands of backstitching, then you can just take your 1 strand while you're stitching with the 1 strand and just go over it twice, right? Well, I did that for like 2 strands. And then I was like, no, my brain is not gonna work. Like, I need to do it with all the 1 strand, all the 2 strand, all the 3 strand. So that's what I did. I just sat there and I worked in one little corner. I did all the 1 strand. I kind of moved over here, did all the 1 strand, moved up. And then I went back and I did all the 2 strands. And then I went back and did all the 3 strands. So it becomes less and less. Like, a lot of the back stitching is done with 1 strand of floss. That's what I mean, 1 strand. It's done with 1 strand of floss, and then the 2 strands are done with 2 strands of floss, and so on and so forth. I wish it was all done in the black, but I do wish that there was a little bit more browns in the piece, because I think that it would look really good with the yellow, but there's not. So, like, while I was stitching it, I was like, this is really... He's like running around acting like a buffoon in there. You done? Hey. Lord. Point is, I wish there was a little bit more. I like the black, but it is very stark. I don't know. It looks good. Like, I'm not saying it doesn't look good. It does look good. But I just wish there was some more blue, or some more browns in, like, the doors or around the windows or something like that to add more warmth into it, you know? Do you hear that truck? Oh my God. Where is he going? What is he doing? So yeah, I finished this on March 19th, and Katie is also stitching this, as well as Jen. So Katie is on Bart's Flosstube, because they live together, they're partners. So K Dunn 1013 is her Instagram handle. Of course, I'll have her linked, as well as Jen. How is this truck getting louder? What are you doing? Internet suppliers. Spectrum, what were they being all noisy and racking ruckus and all. So, Jen also has a Flosstube, Wolf Down the Rabbit Hole. I'll link her in the comments as well, or in the description box. She is stitching this as well. She's actually using, I thought she was using the glow in the dark floss for this. It may be this one, maybe another one. I can't remember. But I'll have her Flosstube linked in the description box as well. Because we were all kind of like stitching it, and then Katie was like, you're already done. It's like, sorry. She wasn't mean about it. Like, I don't know why I said it like that. Okay. I'm just digging myself into a hole here. But so I got that finished, put it on Instagram, and there was a lot of people that love that piece. And a lot of people too they were like, oh, I'm pulling it out now. Like, I have it in stash. A lot of people messaged me and they were like, look, I've started it. So it's really cool. Even though I'm done with it, it still kind of feels like a stitch along, because people are reaching out to me with their projects now on that one. And it is a lot of backstitch. But also, I feel like if you just kind of like take it one step at a time, or one day at a time, like, you'll get it done in no time. I think it's a gorgeous piece. Okay. That was my first finish. Obviously, it was not a fully finished object. It was just an FO, or a finished object. My next piece is a WIP, or a work in progress. This one is August Peridot, or Peridot, depending upon where you are. August Peridot Fairy by Mirabilia. I'm doing it on 32 count even weave, and I'm doing it for the called for, except for a skin conversion, which we're going to talk about here in a minute. This is the finished product. This is what it was supposed to look like, or what the let me say this better. This is what the pattern stitches up as. I know these cover photos aren't always that great in terms of, like, encompassing or capturing the beauty of it, but this is better than my iPad would be. Also, you see this wand right here. I have substituted that out. I've converted it to something else, which I'm about to show. But I worked on her the 11th of March, 12th, and the 13th. Aren't those the Ides of March? What are the Ides of March? 11, 12, and 13th, right? I think so. I gotta Google it now. I think those are the Ides of March. Am I crazy? Or is it someone else? Oh, the Ides of March is March 15th. Well, then what the hell is the 11th, 12th, and 13th? Why am I thinking of those? March 11th, 12th, and 13th. While this is loading, I'm gonna sip on my LaCroix. Yes? Do you want a little a public showing? Okay, I will set you back down in just a second. The people are gonna be mad at me if I don't show you. Look at him. Look how big he's gotten. Like, I know I say that every time, but you've gotten so big. Like a little eye booger. Can I get your little eye booger? No, let me get your little eye booger. There you go. There you go. Look, say hi to the people. This is Erickson. He's want to run around and act like a buffoon right now, so I'm gonna let him. I don't know what March 11th, 12th, and 13th are. Apparently that's Celebrate Your Name Week. It's also Girl Scout Week, which... Hey. Leave the camera stand alone. The tripod. I don't know why I call it a camera stand. I don't know what... Oh, Pisces. It's Pisces time. I don't know. Maybe someone can tell me... Oh my God, that's Romeo and Juliet's wedding day, according to Shakespeare. I don't know. I don't know what world I'm living in that those 3 days are important. I thought the Ides of March was like a multitude of dates, not just one day. Anyways. August Fairy by Mirabilia. Leave the tripod alone. Leave it alone. He's been on a chewing thing lately. And when I say chewing, like chewing. And his little teeth are so big already. I'm like, why are you chewing on everything? I worked on her the 11th, 12th, and 13th. Her name is Lady Mariana. I did a skin conversion for her because, okay, leave the tripod alone. Leave it alone. This is how she looks right now. I did a skin conversion on her through Lord Lebidian or Lord Lebidian. I always sit here and struggle with it. I wanted to get the bottom of her dress done so I can see how tall she's going to be. So I went all the way down here, did all of this, and did all of this since the last time you saw her. Now, it doesn't look like a lot. That's like thousands of stitches of 310. And if you don't know, 310 is, I just thought of something funny. 310 is just black, so it's just a lot of the same. And if you've stitched a lot of 310 before, you realize after the first like 300 or so stitches of 310, you're like, okay, I want to set this down now, which is how I felt. But see the conversion that I did on her wand? It looks like a dandelion flower to me, but this is what I did instead. I pulled colors from her corset and her belt, to match with the the magical, because she is a fairy. I mean, look at her. So her original skin called for 3 colors of white, pretty much, and so I changed them over pretty easily through the Lord Lebidian conversion on his website. It is free. It does like a primary, a dark, and then a highlight color, and that's how I converted it. But yeah, since last time I did all of these. Her dress does connect like back here, somehow, some way, and then there's more 310 in the center. There's a lot of 310, so I'm kind of tackling it one day at a time, or one stitch at a time. But honestly, I was really excited to sit here and get to the bottom so I can see how tall she's gonna be, but also her dress goes just past her outer wing right here. So it's just gonna be just a little bit further out, but I'm really enjoying seeing like her figure come in now. Where is the, oh, here it is. Like you see how her dress comes out past the fairy wing, and she does all of this right here. See all of that 310? Like it's a lot. So I worked on her for a few days, but I was like, I'm tired of seeing 310. I'm one of those people that like to outline an area and then fill it in, because then I can do the filling in mindlessly. I'm not having to count or anything like that. And so that's what I'm doing with her dress. Like all of this is going to be different shades of purple, so I'm able to just kind of follow along with what I've already counted. So along with all of the 310, I'm also counting a lot right now. So she's going to move a little bit slower in the next coming weeks, but honestly, I've gotten a lot of progress done on her. This little blob right there is originally her skin. I was trying out 1/1 to see how the shades would work, and I just thought that just the normal 2 strands of floss over 2 strands of fabric would work out better for her. So yeah, here she is, Lady Mariana. I'm being honest too, I'm not looking forward to the beading. I know it's really just gonna make her just like pop, but I'm just thinking about all that beading right now, and it's gonna be a lot of beading. But also I feel like I'll be in the mindset of she'll be done after I'm done beading her. So that'll literally be like the last thing that I'll have to do. And it may move quicker than I think. So I don't know. Right now I'm like, oh, I don't wanna bead, but I may get to it and say, I'm almost done. I'm in the home stretch. You know what I mean? But I want to finish her before August. Not that I started her in August. I did start her in August. I started her August 18th. So I want to finish her by August 18th. I don't want her to be older than a month. I don't want her to be older than a year. So. Also, August is my birth month, so it's like, which is why I chose her in the first place. A lot of 310 on that baby. A lot of 310. So now, are y'all ready for this? I don't think you are, because something on my eyelash. This is my last whip, last work in progress. This is the one that I have gained the most progress on. Now, it is Mini Victorian Garden by HAED, or Heaven and Earth Designs. It is done on 25 count even weave. I'm doing it 2 strands of floss over 1 strand of fabric, 2/1. And I'm also doing it in tent stitch, which means I'm only doing the first leg of the stitch. The 2/1 on 25 count already gives that kind of full coverage look. That way I don't have to do a full cross. I know some people only do their Heaven and Earth Designs full cross. I know some people only do it in tent stitch. If I ever do another one of these, I may do it in full cross just to see how it would be. But figuring the pattern has 75,825 stitches, I'm not really like super duper excited about running towards the full cross. Now there are people that do full coverages. like, you know, home slice Darcy over there, Stitchman Darcy, and I'll have him linked in the description box as well. He's so funny. I cannot help but like scream in laughter when I watch his floss tubes. He is just ridiculous. I mean, absolutely ridiculous, but in the best way possible. He kind of gets a kick out of this too, but warning, he does have adult language used, and I know that does kind of have some pearl clutchers, like, so if you're not about that, then I'm just letting you know that you might not want to check them out. But if you can get past a few F words and, you know, that type of stuff, he's hilarious. When I tell you, I scream at the TV. Like, he's so funny. He's also really, really nice. So that, of course, just is like the cherry on top. But the reason I bring him up is he does full coverage pieces, and he does the full cross, and he doesn't park. Like, he doesn't park his threads. He just does one thread at a time. Like, when I say park, I mean, like, I'm about to show you parking, but he does it in such a beautiful way. I don't know. You just have to go check him out, because that's all he pretty much stitches on, and I'm impressed because he'll be stitching on them for years and years and years, and he's like, I don't know. It definitely is awesome. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you the finished product of this one. Starting to get a headache, probably because I didn't eat lunch. I never eat before I do these things, which is kind of stupid because I get hungry. But Mini Victorian Garden by Heaven and Earth Designs. I'm doing it with the called for flosses because there is no way I could substitute out for full coverage. I wouldn't even like comprehend that. And the original person is Dominic Davison. This is a artwork done by Dominic Davison. So it is a mini HAED, which pretty much means that it's like 30,000 stitches less than the full. But this is what it'll look like in the end. And since my last floss tube, I stitched on it the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th of March, as well as the 19th, 20th, 21st, and then today, the 22nd. So that's 8 days of stitching on it since the last time you saw it. I got 10,000 stitches done on this piece. I hit 10,000 this morning, and then I went, okay, now I can go make the floss tube, which is exactly what I did. So I sat there and I was like, okay, I need to hit 400 stitches this morning, and then I'll hit my $10,000 stitch goal, which is what I did. So my statistic wise, because some of y'all like this and I kind of like it too, I am at 24,729 stitches done out of 75,825 stitches. So as of today, I am 32.61% done. If I get another 39.39% done, I will officially be 1/3 of the way done with this cross stitch. So here it is, right? You're like, just show me the damn cross stitch already. So all of these flosses are parked, I promise. I use Pattern Keeper, so I know exactly which one goes to what block and what stitch. I know it looks a little crazy because I've got all these flosses everywhere. When they're in the Q-snap, they really don't bother me. I kind of like the method that parking brings in terms of like, okay, I'll pull it over here, I kind of tuck it away. It's just very soothing to me. And because I've been under quarantine lately, I've been just a little stressed out. So this has kind of been my comfort. Now, the last time you saw it, I did not have, let me get resituated on my chair here quick. I was down here. I had just done one stitch down here. One stitch? I mean, there were more than one stitches, but I had hit the bottom, right? Like I had hit the bottom of the pages. So this is 1 page, 2 page, and then like a quarter of a page. And then this is the next page over, and then this is where it ends right here. I'm doing this thing where I'm kind of blending the pages, right? So they don't have the page marks. So like right here, I'm blending the pages with a few stitches. Now, underneath all of these park threads is actually like a ton of stitches. Can you kind of see that? Like there are a ton of stitches under here as well, because, you know, it'd be like a few stitches and then I'd park it over there when I was working on these flowers. Now, I've done all of this up here. This is the second or the third page, and it ends about right here, and I've gotten a lot of that done right there. This is empty right here, this little spot, but it's all, I don't know if you can see it. Let's try to get a little bit closer. You see this line right here? You can like barely see it. There's like a little line. It's all white right here. Like it's just a giant blob of white. I'm saving that to the end of this page because it's gonna kind of be my treat to just like fill it in, because there's a lot of confetti. I mean, you can kind of tell this is a lot of confetti. I don't mind it, but it's a lot of confetti. So the white perfectly matches my fabric. So I just kind of think it's a little funny that like they match perfectly. But I love how these trees and the clouds are coming in now. And this obviously is going to be like another set of trees right here. It's this part right here in the center. You see this little part right here? It's that part. So that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at on my piece. Isn't that exciting? Like I got really excited the other night on virtual stitchers, because I noticed that I'm officially like halfway through the pattern. So if I come down right here, it'll be half of the pattern complete. I'm excited to get into those bright colors down there at the bottom again, because I'm working in throughout the house right now. You see the house right here? Like I'm working through all of this right here. And so it's a lot of blues and grays, and they're kind of meh colors, right? But I'm enjoying how it's looking. I'm just gonna keep showing and talking about it because this is all I've been working on lately. So yeah, I finished all of these bushes down here. This is the last time you saw it. And then I parked a lot of threads right here because they continue on into these bushes right here. And then I came up here and started knocking out page 3. I've gotten a lot of page 3 done. Like I've only really done this over the past 2 days. Let's talk about it this way. Yesterday, now I sat down yesterday for about 8 hours, okay? But I got 2,300 stitches done. And I was a little hungover from virtual stitchers. It's so much fun out there. But yeah, so this is where the little steeple's gonna be. You can kind of see it starting to form right there. There's a lot of shading in the house right here. The canopy comes up behind it. The sky is right up here. I cannot put this down. Like, I know I'm only 33-ish, almost 33% done, and that's only 1/3 of it. And I know that even if I only do like 400 stitches, it's still not a huge dent in it. But I'm so obsessed. Like, I'm so obsessed with working on this piece right now. Look, can you see the little tree? Or not a little tree, the little table right here with the chairs. Do you see the chairs? That's a chair. That's a chair. And then right here, there's a little window because there's like, it's kind of like peeking through from the house, from the canopy, like behind like the trees and the shading. Like, it just, I know I keep talking about it, but I love this. This is beautiful. 10,000 stitches. 10,000 stitches since you last saw it. And I thought the 5,000 that I did about last week was good. And then I came home and I was like, well, I'm in quarantine again. I've got all this week to still work on this. So maybe we can do another 10,000. 20,000 stitches in 1 month. That'd be insane. And so that new job that I was supposed to start last week, I have to quarantine. So my training's not even until the last week of March. Because I have to quarantine. Which is only next week, so I don't even know why I'm like throwing a fit. But, you know. Now when I start that, that's going to be my life. So I'm kind of enjoying all this cross-stitching time that I'm doing. But I know that that'll kind of, you know, take away all this extra time I'm getting right now. Just reflecting on how my life's going to be in a month. Annoying. I'm just kidding. It's not going to be annoying, but... Anyways. So, that's this Flosstube. I mean, 3 projects. One of them was a finish. 2 of them were whips. One of those whips was a lot done. I wanted to put it back away, my Heaven and Earth, but I think that I'll actually put it back into the Q-Snap and keep working, kind of see where the rest of the day will lead me, and then tomorrow maybe I pull out my Mirabilia. I can't think about all that 310 right now. I know I could start the purples, but that's the fun part, so... I can't start the purple because that's going to be when the fun is going to start. So, I don't know. I'm like not making plans, but I'm kind of making plans, but I'm not actually going to stick to them. And then I'll still stitch this for the rest of the week. Watch. It'll happen. So yeah, that was spring break. And then that was a little bit last week, mainly focused on the weekend because I didn't have anywhere to go. But yeah, that's Flosstube 17. If you liked it, hit the like button. I don't even know what I'm doing. If you want to stick around for more shenanigans that I bring to the table, hit subscribe. If you don't have to hit subscribe. There may be something special at 3,000. I'm trying to figure out if I can do a couple of things before I do it, because not really new at all. I'm new at all this like giveaway stuff, but there may be something at 3,000. I don't really know how to do all of that. I'll have to talk to my Flosstuber friends and be like, yo, what's the tea? Like, how do I do this? Like in a organized, reasonable way that doesn't take up like 30 hours of my time trying to organize and like get situated. But I'm not promising anything, but I'm not promising anything. So, you know. But yeah, that's it. I'll see y'all in 2 weeks. I don't know what day is that gonna be. Let's find out. Honestly, these floss tubes are how I know when it's like my on week or off week. It'll be March 5th. No. April 5th. Man, April? Already? So yeah, April 5th. I don't even know what's going on outside my apartment right now. Like, there's so many like noises. But yeah, I will see y'all on April 5th. Until then, I'm on Instagram at noah.stitches. And I'm kind of in quarantine right now, but I'm trying not to stay on my phone all day. So I'm like on and off that. But you can talk to me there. I will gladly talk to you. If you have any questions or anything like that, it's probably the best place to put it, because then I can actually like go into like detail and answer your questions. But that's all for me, folks. Erickson's asleep. He's looking real cute, and we'll see you then. So let's see if my little clicker works this time. I gotta turn it on to stop this thing. Okay, bye.